Most sales team meetings are completely worthless. I've been on so many sales team meetings throughout my sales career, and I cannot tell you the amount of companies that do it wrong. It's either that there's so many meetings, it's such a bog down that you can't even go make the company money because you're talking to the team all day, or the meetings themselves are worthless. And it causes the sales reps to resent going to those meetings entirely. I've personally left sales teams solely because of their meetings, even when I had a 50% close rate and was making 12, 15 grand a month. So in this video, I'm gonna be breaking down exactly what to do in your meetings so they're impactful and you can retain and hold A players. One thing that's huge here is to change their mindset from this is me, I'm an independent contractor and I just need to take what I can get out of this company to a team mindset. You almost want them thinking that like this sales team is like an actual team. And the way that you could do this is by setting quarterly, monthly, and weekly and daily goals based upon that. So setting huge quarterly goals. I want to be doing 250K a month cash collected. Now, currently we're sitting at 120K cash collected. We want to double within the span of the next 90 days. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna set monthly goals that are like incremental gains to get to that bigger goal. The first month we go for 160K, and then we go for 200K, and then we go for 250K the next month. So because of that, we need to go on a monthly basis and set these goals and then set these weekly goals. And then each sales rep needs to do this and this. And then they're more thinking towards a collective goal of how can we get this sales team to generate this much cash. Sometimes just setting that goal and wanting to hit it isn't enough. So what I highly recommend is doing little bonuses and incentives based upon that. So one really cool thing you do is like, hey, if you guys hit our goal of 250K cash by the end of the quarter, I'll give you guys a 10% bonus for the month that we hit. Or it could be something as simple as like, we'll give you guys DoorDash gift cards if you hit the goal. It doesn't have to be this huge monetary thing. Let's get a lot more tactical on what do we even do once we're in the meeting so that they're not worthless and sales reps like, Garrett, don't leave. So once you actually start your meetings, there's gonna be a cadence of like what you actually do inside of these meetings. So start of the month, you're gonna set your monthly goals, your monthly targets, and essentially show what changes need to happen in order for that to be doable. There's all these between your meetings where all the magic really happens, and the process and kind of the framework that I have for these meetings is very simple. And it's the CTR framework. It's call review, training, role plays. And you do this on repeat until each problem is solved. So at the beginning of the month, you likely had a problem that existed from the last month, which is why you did or did not hit your goal. You want to be doing call reviews to identify this problem. Whether that be setting, whether that be closing, doesn't matter. And then what you want to do is bring the best example of this, or kind of the worst example of this, to the actual call, where you do a call review live and you have the snippet of the exact piece of the call where this happened, and then you have a good example of the call and where this happened in a good way. You already know the problem exists. You're more so selling the fact that this problem exists to all the sales reps so they can be like, yes, I have that problem too. For about 30 minutes of the hour-long meeting, you're doing call reviews of a bad one and a good one, showing them side by side, explaining why this is a problem and what to do different. And then in your actual training session, for the next 30 minutes of this hour-long sales team meeting, what you want to do is a training on the specific topic. So here's what to do differently, here's how to handle this situation, and just give a flat-out sales training. And then give them action items at the end of the meeting on like, hey, you guys all have calls today, go implement this stuff, and then let me know how it goes when you do your end of day reporting, give me feedback on how it worked. And then prior to your sales team meeting the next day, what we're gonna do is we're gonna obviously review a couple of those calls, just the little bitty snippets. What you're gonna do is when you do your end of day reporting, you're gonna have the salespeople report back to you on the thing that they changed and how it worked. You're gonna review all of these little snippets of all these calls and see how the team implemented it. And there's probably not gonna be perfect for everyone, right? So the next day, what you're gonna do is the people that need the most work, you're gonna be doing role plays like crazy. And then we continue this cycle. So it's like identify problem, show them the problem and explain how to fix the problem, and then do mock calls to make sure that that problem actually gets solved. And you do this on a vicious loop. Your show rate should be about 70%. Your offer rate should be about 75%, and then your close rate should be about 35%. And if everything is dialed in, then work on your set team on how to fill the calendar more. There's always a problem that exists, and if you use this framework, it's gonna help you run fine-tuned meetings so that ultimately your sales team doesn't feel like they're wasting their time on sales team meetings where they otherwise could have done other stuff. Pro tip here, just for like bonus meetings, if you're kind of like, I kind of don't know what to do right now. Sometimes if I'm like, hey, we literally have nothing to cover, I'll be like, hey, closers, you have the day off. Setters, we're gonna do a little bit of a workshop here. You guys are going to be doing dials on Zoom, and I would just watch and sit in there with you. It's kind of like a study hall session where you guys do some calls and then all like live feedback, give you a little bit of adjustments and tweaks to things. And then for closers, we'll do the same thing. Okay, setters, you have the day off. For the closers here, we're gonna do some pipeline management. We're gonna help craft, certain follow-ups and stuff that is super effective, and it kind of forces reinforces them and gets them also in the habit of working their pipeline and working the CRM. And some days, if you have nothing to cover, give them a day off. Don't have a meeting just to have a meeting where you guys stare at each other and just wait until the clock strikes an hour and then you leave, right? If there's actually nothing to cover, just cancel the meeting. That is really it for this video on how to manage your sales team and what to actually do in the sales team meetings. Use the CTR framework in order to make your team meetings as efficient as possible so they're actually actionable, so your sales team is learning in every single meeting. And you may be like, okay, cool, Garrett, I know exactly what to do in my sales team meetings, but I need more salespeople. Good problem to have. You can simply go to hiresalesreps.io down below here, where you can go to our site, fill out your application, hop on a call with my team, and we will place sales reps into your online service-based business. We have done this for Ryan Serhant, Ryan Pineda, Iman Ghazi, and some of the biggest names in the online space, and we'd love to do the same for you. And if you don't need sales reps, go ahead and subscribe to this YouTube channel here where you can get more sales tips just like this.